Let's take a look at some of the top trending stories of the day. We got Josh Schafer and Pras Subramanian here to help us break it all down. We got to start with one of the big headlines out today, and that's a huge announcement that shocked the golf world. The PGA Tour and LIV Golf teaming up. Josh, you have been digging into this story. You've been closely following this story since day one. This is a stunning announcement. You got to think a lot of those athletes, a lot of the golf players, extremely upset over this.
Yeah, it really is. So LIV Golf was the new startup league that we've been covering since last year. It's backed by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and what was announced today is a partnership between LIV Golf and the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour, which is the European World Tour, World Golf Tour. And essentially what this deal does is it creates a new entity that is going to be funded by the Saudi Public Investment Fund exclusively right now, funded by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. And really what the take, I think, here is broadly is we have both sides doing what they said they weren't going to do last year. LIV Golf said that the PGA wasn't good enough for it and they could find their own media rights and they could succeed on their own. LIV Golf couldn't succeed on their own. They never even got a good streaming deal. And then you had the PGA saying, we don't need Saudi money. That's dirty money. We'd never go over there. We don't want our players going over there. Well, now they're taking that money. And I think that's the broad takeaway I have today, Akiko, is that you basically have both sides doing what a year ago they said they wouldn't do, and I'm personally just pretty shocked by the merger as a whole.
I think you're putting it gently. It is hypocrisy. I mean, that's kind of the bottom line of it, right? And you look at both sides. On the LIV side, to your point, it was all about, well, we're offering competition here. There's only been one entity. And then on the PGA side, it was about the Saudis. It was about the 9/11 families. It was about, we would never go near that. At the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it from the player's point of view. I got to see, some of them must have been like Rory McIlroy, dumbfounded by this move, kind of shocked. They took a big stand against LIV. But then it makes me think that, was the PGA scared that all the players are going to leave? Is that why they did this deal? Because we talked about this before, in player-run leagues like tennis and golf, you can actually kind of corner the market very easily in that. And was that the fear of the PGA? Was the players sort of all of them leaving? I don't know, but it's just a thought I had.
I don't know, because they were able to retain, at least for now, a lot of their top talent. You mentioned Rory McIlroy. He was one of the most vocal in defending the PGA Tour, criticizing those players who did decide to leave. He got in a couple back and forth with Phil Mickelson over the last several weeks. But when you take into account what's happening at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are asking what this will do to the game of golf. And there is argument out there. Jefferies was one of the companies that came out with an analyst note today saying that the sport in general is going to benefit. Some of the names like Topgolf, Callaway, obviously one of those best positioned to benefit from this. But I still have question marks just in terms of how much bigger we're really going to see the sport of golf grow, even if it does have all of that funding from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the take is essentially now there'll just be more money in the game, right? And I think at a high level, I guess you could say that would make the players more motivated, right? So then you can maybe have a longer season and you can sort of grow beyond the majors. That's where the PGA has really struggled when you think about why LIV Golf came about. Outside of those four majors that we talk about, that includes the Masters tournament and the British Open, we don't really talk about the tour that much from a broad sports perspective. It's not as popular as some of the other major sports. So I guess the theory would be you get more money in, you get the players to be more interested in the offseason, and then it grows. I don't know, the market, I will say, those golf stocks were up today, up about 5% at one point. So it was interesting to see that people do sort of believe in maybe it is a rising tide there.
The Saudis coming out the biggest winners in all this.
Yeah, they certainly are.